you are not going to heaven. In fact, none of us are going to heaven because heaven's not a place that you go. Heaven is not a place in the clouds. Heaven is here, now, this present moment. And we as human beings are residing in heaven unbeknownst to us. We are living within God's mind. This is a mental universe. And as a mental universe, we are given the gift of imagination and a mind to experience this universe through. Our own mind is a microcosm of the macro, the creator in form. The creator manifests within the creation. So here we see infinite intelligence. Infinite intelligence is the divine order, the divine script, the grand drama behind everything. And this is the source. This is the source of everything that we experience. This is the source of life. This is the source of love and emotion. This is why you've seen people call it the source, the all. Because infinite intelligence is something that we as human beings bridge the gap of so-called heaven to earth. Human beings are the gap. They are the bridge between heaven and earth. And our mind is simply the receiver for this infinite intelligence to flow from source into form, from the all into form. So here you see me, Corey, as a creator. This creator is tapping into infinite intelligence. It is sourcing and streaming cosmic consciousness through his being. The brain is the filter. You can see this cosmic soup of infinite intelligence and how we are the filter. And if you've seen a color prism before, you understand, if you know Pink Floyd's album cover, right? You see the white light streaming through the triangular prism and creating the red, green, blue as we see it. So this cosmic soup of intelligence streams through us. We are that prism where that intelligence streams through into form. We are bridging heaven into earth. So me as Corey, I sit here and I tap into infinite intelligence. And I'm streaming that consciousness onto a medium. This medium here being a piece of paper, right? And I'm writing. I'm streaming these ideas that are coming directly from God, because our ideas are not our ideas. It's something that we tap into. Imagination is not something that lives inside of us. It's something that we connect to. So as these ideas, this imagination flows through us onto paper, we birth life into these ideas, creating a universe in itself. We're swirling around. We have created our own universe in the same way that we were created by God. Now, we package this up. We package up our universe and put it into a book. I just wrote a book that I'm still working on called Be As You Are. And when that's all packaged up, I'm going to have the ability to share these ideas, the imagination, my own universe with other people. And I can give that book out, and I can give that book to Timmy over here. Timmy's a pink man, and he's reading my book, and he's taking my ideas and he's understanding them, he's comprehending them, he's embodying them. So my creative act turned into the consumption. So somebody else is consuming what I have created. Now Timmy over here reads my book and he's super moved by it. Timmy is embodying these principles that I've written down, such as presence and gratitude, a love for yourself, a love for God, the ideas of mentalism and these other Hermetic philosophies, Hindu philosophies, Buddhist philosophies that I've pieced together to create my own unique understanding. And this unique understanding that is flowing into Timmy is my essence. This is my soul, is living inside of this book. I have created a universe for myself to live outside of myself in. So now I am living beyond my physical being. My essence is living beyond it. So now when Timmy goes ahead and embodies this, he has a piece of me. My essence, Corey, now lives inside of Timmy. Corey now can speak through Timmy, reincarnated in a way. My being is extending beyond myself. So now Timmy, as he talks to Tommy, so now Timmy and Tommy are having a conversation, and Timmy's saying, wow, I've learned so much about presence, and I've learned so much about gratitude and how to be where my feet are. All things that he learned from Be As You Are, my book, right? And it's not out yet, to be released. And maybe it's released by the time you're watching this video. So now Timmy is embodying Be As You Are. He's embodying these principles, this universe, this essence that I've given him, and transmitting that to Tommy. So now Timmy and Tommy both have a piece of me in it, right? So now as Timmy gives an essence, a piece of me into Tommy, now I live in Tommy. Now my ideas, my imagination are extending beyond myself in the same way that God creates the universe and lives through each of us. As each of us are unique manifestations of the Creator, we can create and live through other people as extensions of ourselves. Now, Timmy tells Tommy, and Tommy goes out there, and now he's so moved by these ideas. And maybe Timmy took these ideas and made them for himself. Right? So these ideas are, this idea that I'm presenting now is a soup of all of the people that I have taken influence from, that I've taken inspiration from. People like Jesus, the Buddha, Ram Dass, Hermes Trismegistus, all of these great others that have walked the path before I have taken this concept and embodied it and given birth to life into it in their name. So now Tommy takes that concept and sits around the fire and tells Jim and Jane over here about what he's learned. He's talking about the fire, he's talking about the interconnectivity of everything. But behind it all, there's a light of Corey within Tommy. So as we see, like this light that we have, that we shine on the world, can move through other people. Our consciousness extends beyond ourselves because our consciousness is embodied by other living, breathing beings. And we birth life to allow our consciousness to extend beyond ourselves through creation. And in this example, it's a book, right? But there's plenty of ways that you can create and birth life into your creation beyond yourself. You can start a family. That's a living, breathing example of you. You can quite literally create light, have a son, have a daughter, and they embody your essence and put it forth into the world. Or you could write a book. You could put out music. You could have great, deep conversations with people that they take your ideas in. This entire life is a creative act. So as we live, our ideas are implanted and birthed in other people who then take our ideas out into the world. So we as creators live beyond ourselves. So now Tommy's sitting here around the campfire talking to Jim and Jane. They really resonate with that too. They really resonate with the ideas that Tommy has presented. And those ideas came from my brain originally, came from Corey, and he's pieced it together with all of the other influences that he's had, his parents and his teachers and his friends, and they've created this unique being called Tommy. But a major part to play is the fact that we can piece together other people's consciousness. We can offer a piece into others' consciousness through the creations that we have. So now Jim and Jane are so moved by it, they've also embodied this aspect of Corey and these beliefs that he has. So now there's a piece of me and my essence living, breathing, acting, speaking through these other beings. So we have Timmy over here that originally just read my book and was so moved by it, and now I live within him. And we have Tommy over here who was so moved by what Timmy had to say that he went and bought the book and sat around the campfire and shared these ideas. And now Jim and Jane, they are also moved by it. And they have a new heightened sense of reality because of what Tommy shared with them. So now all of them, there's a piece of me in them. Right? And this is what Jesus talked about. Why do you think Jesus still lives today? Jesus was not talking about he was going to come back in form and Jesus is going to reincarnate. No, that's not how this works. And it's never how it's going to work. Oh, we're getting a little bright here. Okay. So that's not how Jesus saw his reincarnation. Jesus saw himself living through us. Jesus saw himself and his words taking on a life of their own, which is why we see Christ as a consciousness. Does that make sense there? So Christ as a consciousness is the fact that Jesus' ideas, Jesus' life is his teaching, Jesus' life is his message. So Jesus' life has lived on in countless Bibles being sold across the world, in all of these churches that worship him. Jesus lives beyond his physical body, a God, man in form, but a God in his own respect. Jesus knew that his message would live beyond him. And that is where this idea of living within other people. Jesus lives in me as I speak these words unto you. Jesus lives in the priest as he speaks the words to a parish. Jesus lives in everybody. And Jesus isn't the only one. That's the idea. Jesus was the messenger. He was a messenger for this concept. There is the infinite intelligence that we can stream through us as creators into earth. We are bringing heaven into earth. It's not that we die and we go to a place in the clouds and hang out with the angels. That's not how this works. It's never going to be how this works. There are higher dimensions of consciousness. There may be beings that exist on dimensions of consciousness above this third dimension, but here we are as human beings in the third dimension. We are the bridge between these higher dimensions. We understand our chakras as you activate your lower primal chakras until you hit your heart, where you can begin to activate the higher ones. Our brain is the receiver for these higher dimensions to manifest within the physical. So we can take these ideas and transmute them into their physical equivalent so that our consciousness can live in others. And we can live beyond ourselves. We can live forever. And what is eternal life? Eternal life is creating. Eternal life is being a creator in your own life. Eternal life is creating within this human life so that you may live on, so that your essence may live through other people. And I realized this concept as I sat with one of my friends in Mexico last week, my friend Johnny. I sat and talked to him, and him and I had a very similar philosophy on the world. We'd both looked deeply into religion. We'd both looked into Eastern esoteric practices, Western occultism, Hermetic philosophy, very specifically, different books by Hermes Trismegistus, like the Kabbalion, the Hermetica. And as we spoke, I realized that his essence, that these people that he's read, and that these people that I've read were reconnecting in the physical world. That these people live through us. That these influences, these inspirations that we have end up embodying themselves within our own being. We become the people that we're surrounded by. We become the things that we consume. Which is why it's so important to be conscious about what you consume, to be conscious about the information you consume, the food you consume, the people you surround yourself with is so important because we become it and we embody these aspects. So as I sat and talked to my friend Johnny, I realized, wow, this is like we were talking specifically about Hermeticism. And as I talked to him, I realized, wow, this is like Hermes Trismegistus meeting himself again in form. I never talked to somebody else that had been so knowledgeable in those philosophies, in the Hermetic philosophy. And it was like, wow, it came back full circle. It was this principle at play. And after I came home, I was able to piece this together and see that we, as human beings, are creators. We are the manifestation of the Creator in form, created to create, to allow our essence, our spirit, our consciousness to live on beyond us. So here I am creating, putting forth my light into the world so that I may live beyond myself. So if you like concepts like this one, I don't have a name for it. So drop in the comments if you want to see a name for it. But if you like concepts like this, as I piece together this world and make sense of reality, and the idea of self-realization unto the concept of self-mastery, bringing ourselves up into oneness and back down, utilizing oneness as a way to master this physical world If you like that, click subscribe, watch that next video, because I have tons of content on spiritual awakening, self-realization, consciousness, and all of that good stuff that is going to make you the happiest, healthiest human being, most intelligent, connected human being on planet Earth. So if you want to be intelligent, connected, let's connect, because I love you. Thank you for being here. Hopefully this all stuck with you, and hopefully I can live through you and you share this video with one of your friends. So much love, peace, out and we'll talk soon.